All right, let's go straight to the core. The one that says if you really want the best price for your product, you've got to hop in a plane, go straight to a factory in China and cut out the middleman. It's the ultimate sourcing hack you've been fed over and over again. That's a story you hear from all corners of the metaverse. The dream that gets sold to many entrepreneurs and small businesses. The same storyline most Canton Fair attendees tell you. Here is a reality check though. Chasing that dream often ends in a nightmare. We're talking hidden fees you never anticipated, quality control problems that leave you ironically looking for a sourcing agent, and losing thousands of dollars with literally no one to call. That amazing factory direct price, it's usually a mirage. And by the time you figure that out, your money's already gone. How do I know this? Watch my other videos. So right here, right now, I'm breaking down the 4 traps that prove why going directly to China usually won't get you the best price. First up, the price you're quoted is almost never the price you actually pay. It's a classic bait and switch. A factory gives you this incredibly low unit cost. You love it. You place the order because the price is irresistible. But then the real costs start trickling in. Suddenly there are domestic logistics fees inside of China, port fees, custom declaration fees, and did your supplier happen to explain the difference between Incoterms such as FOB, XWorks, and DDP? If not, you might have just accidentally agreed to pay for every single step of the shipping process from their factory door to your warehouse. Those costs can stack so high they completely vaporize your profit margins. Now pay attention, this is as real as it gets. I can't make this stuff up and I have receipts to kill all your doubt. I was recommended to a purchasing department that wanted 90,000 pieces of anti-fog safety goggles. Now bear in mind this company had local Chinese factory they've already contacted for the same order. But this guy reached out because I was recommended to him and his intention was to find out if they're getting a good deal. So naturally he sent in his request. My team got busy. We had a quote from vetted suppliers out of about 3 potential suppliers. Now these are the product specifications and sample set, and we followed up those with our price quotes. My agency was able to offer at $0.37 per goggle. My curiosity got the best of me naturally, so I asked what price they received directly from the factory. This is what he sent, $0.5 per goggle. Now let's do the math. Stay with me. 90,000 pieces of goggles multiplied by 0.5 USD a piece will amount to $45,000, whereas my agency put it off at $33,300. Literally, we saved this client $11,700. Next, let's talk about the master sample narrative. I call it a narrative because it's exactly that. This is how it works. Let's be honest, who wouldn't clean up or put on their best outfit and behavior when their crush is coming over to visit? So it's only logical that most factories show or send over the perfect, flawless sample when you fly over to their factory or you fly over to China to inspect their factories. You're shown materials that are premium with impeccable build quality. What you should not forget though is that even if you show up and discuss with the factory at the trade fair or visit their factory to inspect and do your due diligence, you will eventually fly back to your home country. What is the guarantee the factory will do exactly what's been agreed upon without you having any eyes and ears here on the ground in China? And I don't mean just anybody, because I know some buyers, as a way to cut down costs, employ students and a friend of a friend to do quality check. But that's for another topic. Get yourself a trusted sourcing agent or agency. The fee you pay is 1000% worth it. This particular problem is quite common than you might think. It's what I term the quality fade, and it's a huge headache which flying over to China in person doesn't solve, unless you decide to stay through the entire production phase of your product, which typically lasts about 15 to 45 days, depending on your quantities. The fact is, most factories know that once you've got 10,000 units of items in your own country, it's practically impossible and it's way too expensive for you to ship them back to them. They have your money and you have their junk. Now, who wins? You also have to bear in mind that a sample is a sales tool, not a guarantee. The only way to avoid quality fade and win in this race is to hire your own referee, a vetted and trusted third-party sourcing agency that checks the products before they leave the factory. It's an added cost, but it's a tiny price to pay for insurance against receiving a worthless shipment. If you are not inspecting, you're gambling. All right, this one is a massive no-no, and I can't repeat it enough. If a supplier ever asks you to pay 100% of the order value upfront, run. Do not walk just run. It's the biggest warning sign in international trade, and newcomers fall for it constantly. Let me tell you some pretty taxes they use. This price is only good if you pay today, the keyword today. But once you send that money, you have lost all your funds, leverage, and power, every last bit of it. Why would you pay 100% anyway? Real and legitimate suppliers work on a split, like a 30% deposit to start and 70% after the goods are completed. The initial 30% deposit allows them to buy materials. That final payment, that's your leverage, your only tool. If your trusted agent finds a ton of defects, you can withhold that final 70% payment until the factory fixes the issue. It's the only thing that forces them to be accountable. When you pay 100% upfront, you remove all their incentive to fix problems. I'm quite sure you've heard of stories of importers paying the full amount only for the supply to completely disappear. Their email leads nowhere, their phone is disconnected, poof, just like that, gone. So never ever give up your leverage. Standard payment terms are your shield. A really fair deal is 30% to start production and the final 70% only after the goods have passed inspection. If a supplier or even your trusted sourcing agent refuses those terms, they aren't a serious partner. Look, I know this all sounds pretty intense, but every single one of these mistakes is completely avoidable. If you don't know where to start, I've put together a safe sourcing toolkit. It's a free checklist that walks you through everything from verifying your suppliers, calculating your landed costs, and the inspection steps you absolutely need. You can download it for free at the link in the description. Finally, even if you navigate everything else perfectly, there is one last wave of cost that can sink your entire business: shipping and tariffs. These external forces can turn a profitable product into a massive loss. In the past few years, we've all seen shipping costs go absolutely crazy, sometimes multiplying by 5 or even 10 times in just a few months. A shipment you budgeted at possibly $3,000 in freight could suddenly cost you $15,000 by the time it's ready to ship. So these aren't minor hiccups. They are business-breaking changes. And then there are tariffs. Geopolitical tensions can cause tariffs to be slapped on your product with no warning, and you're the one who has to pay it. This isn't a factory cost. It's a giant tax waiting for you at your customs border. Let's be real, you can't control global events, but you can plan for them. This is where your sourcing agent comes in and vet a responsible and efficient freight forwarder. Your agent, if it's an experienced one, should already have a few cost-effective forwarders on their vetted list or as partners they have history with. Ignoring these costs is like sailing without checking the weather forecast. You have to build a buffer into the budget for these surprises. That's not being pessimistic, it's just smart business. So, the dream of flying to China, finding a factory and walking away with the world's best price, for me, honestly, it's just that. It's a dream. The factory price is just the beginning. Without having an accountable and responsible partner or team in China to double or triple check everything till your products are ready to be loaded and shipped, you will surely receive cheap price goods, but in an expensive way. But this is not to say, or this is not to mean sourcing from China is impossible. It just means you have to be smart. So do not chase the lie. Build a real resilient and profitable sourcing strategy instead with a reliable partner in China. And if you want to dive deeper and avoid these mistakes, don't forget to download that free safe sourcing toolkit in the description. It's packed with steps to protect your investment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you like this video, as usual, watch my next video.